Hi, and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. This time around, I've got a haul from Umbrella Entertainment. It's the November haul, but because the main release of the November haul was delayed, I received it in December, but that's okay. A lot of these things are very much still available to buy, if not in the collector's editions, but in the standard editions. And they're bangers. November was a good month for Umbrella. So we'll get started with local content, shall we? The Australian stuff. Ozploitation Rarities Volume 2 came out. The first volume was released a few months ago, and it had a whole bunch of obscure but interesting films in it. And like the first one, this one contains 3 films. Desolation Angels, Coda, Symphony of Death, and The 13th Floor. Now, that's not The 13th Floor, which had Craig Bierko in it. It's a different one. Same name, different movie. And it's a really interesting release because I remember seeing The 13th Floor on VHS back in VHS days, but I haven't seen the other 2. Now, inside the box, and it is a nice hardcover box. By the way, I will freeze frame you the special features and the discs there, so I'll just freeze frame that. Special features: Desolation Angels has a 2024 audio commentary by the director Chris Fitchett and the cinematographer Ellery Ryan. The Car as Villain in Australian Cinema, a visual essay by screenwriter and author Stephen Vag. Stephen is great. Aussie car movie trailer reel and a 1983 AFI trailer for the movie. Coda has a 2024 audio commentary by production designer Annie Brown, assistant director Gus Howard, and actress Liddy Clark. Liddy Clark I liked as an actress. I don't know if she's doing much these days, but she was very much a feature on television in the 80s and 90s. 2024 interview with cinematographer David Foreman. 2024 interview with Liddy Clark. Labyrinth short film, the Jogger short film, Craig Lahiff's trailer reel, the VHS experience, and the original trailer. So I'm looking forward to that one. The 13th Floor, 2024 audio commentary with writer-director Chris Roach. 2024 interview with actress Lisa Hensley. Women in Peril, a visual essay by author and TV historian Andrew Mercado. And Andrew, again, is one of those people that does really nice visual essays. The VHS experience and the original theatrical trailer. So they're the extras. Let's get down to the stuff in the box. Coda, Symphony of Death. There's the back, and inside, get the disc, and production stills there. There's the disc for those who like those sort of things. But you also get a poster. There's the 13th Floor. There's the back cover. But we have the disc, and we have that. Good news, they're all region. They're not region locked to Region B. So you can watch these. I'll prove it to you. There's the notification there that it's all region. And the third one, Desolation Angels. There's the front. There's the back. Very 1980s image on the disc. And there's more production stills. These are all dramas and horror films, so they're not going to be bucolic movies about the Australian outback and the colonial experience and shit like that. These are definitely genre films, and I like that. And I like the fact that Umbrella is giving them a little love and a little oxygen. And they're very good at doing that with Australian obscurities as well. We also get some art cards. This is the collector's edition. You can only get this from the Umbrella website. But the art cards are kind of fun. There's one from Desolation Angels. Which movie is this from? It doesn't tell me. I think it's from Desolation Angels, but I'm not sure. Desolation Angels, Killing Time. There's one from Coda. Alternative artwork there. Very kind of abstract artwork, and I like that. The 13th Floor. And an alternative title for The 13th Floor. This movie also has Miranda Otto in it in an early role, so that's kind of cool. It says Electrocutor 1. I think that's the German title for it. But there is a bit more. We get a booklet. Lied, Cheat and Steal, an introduction to Ozploitation Rarities Volume 2 by Paul Harris. The Making of Desolation Angels in 1982. And it's an essay by Chris Fitchett. Lots of extra stuff in there, so there's a lot of stuff contextualizing these movies. And I cannot show you that one, though it is. Let me just tell you, it's quite attractive. Okay. Oh, there is a lot of
Dusty substances.
images here of one of the stars of one of these movies wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and she's not wearing anything else. There's more stuff there. Life and Times of Director with Craig LaHeath by Paul Harris again. Wish I could show you those images because they are quite nice. They're very 1980s Australian Playboy magazine. And there are a lot of other essays in here. I won't go through everything. There's a scrapbook for the 13th floor as well. I may well watch these on the weekend. I've got a little time on the weekend because I'm going to be ahead on my videos and I don't have to work on new videos. So I think Ozploitation Rarities Volume 2 is what I'm going to watch on the weekend. By the way, there is an image on the back of the box that I kind of like of Ozploitation Rarities Volume 2. Again, that lovely artwork that gets commissioned by Umbrella for these releases is totally wonderful, just like the artwork on the front. Next cab off the rank is a Ty West movie that came before X and Pearl and Maxine, the three movies for which Ty West is most known. It's a movie called The House of the Devil, and it's about a satanic cult because satanic cults were all the rage back in the late 20th century. You couldn't walk in the public without stepping on a satanic cult. And this is a pre-Maxine and pre-X and pre-Pearl Ty West joint. On the back, you get that image, which is quite evocative. I'll read you the extras as I show you the special features there. Audio commentary with Ty West, Larry Fessenden, Peter Fox, and Graham Resnick. Audio commentary by Ty West and Jocelyn Donoghue. Video essay with writer and critic Heather Drain, and Heather is really good as well. There are so many really great female writers about film these days, and they're fantastic. I mean, you've got Heather here, you've got Nadine Whitney, you've got a whole bunch of other people who are just really getting into talking about cult cinema from a non-masculine point of view. And I always learn things when I read them. And having a video essay by Heather Drain, thumbs up from me. In The House of the Devil featurette, Behind the House of the Devil, deleted scenes, House of the Devil, 1896, George Méliès short film, and a trailer. So there's a lot that's jam-packed with extras. Inside the box, we'll do the art cards first, because this movie has a killer cast in it. And I don't mean that in a literal sense, but in some ways I do. The movie, by the way, is from 2009, and it stars Jocelyn Donoghue, Tom Noonan, who I like a lot, Mary Warrenoff, Greta Gerwig, and Dee Wallace. So really great cast. I'm going to watch this one without knowing too much about it apart from the Satanic Panic thing. But there are art cards here, and I should show them to you. There's one. Where's the second one? There is some poster art, alternative poster art. There are a few different versions here. There's Mary Warrenoff. And the redoubtable Tom Noonan. Nice lot of art cards there. But we get a bit more. We get the discs, but I'll do them last. We get a booklet as well, The House of the Devil. And inside this, we've got an essay by Gavin Badley, Tell Truth and Shame the Devil, Ty West, Dark Nostalgia, and the Satanic Panic. One day I'll tell you about my Satanic Panic story. I've talked about it on the channel before, but I was involved in a Satanic Panic back in the 1980s. Rosemary's Babysitter, Ty West horror at an hourly rate by Nadine Whitney. So Nadine's in two things that Umbrella released in November. She's also in the best of the releases as far as I'm concerned. George Méliès' Le Manor du Diablo. There's a thing about the George Méliès short film by Jack Sargent in there, and a bunch of other stuff. So a lot of good things in that booklet as well. But you've got the slipcase for the disc there, and on the back you've got that, which is kind of spookily reflective. Inside, that art. This one is Region B. It does say so down there. You get the reversible cover in the disc there so you can get rid of the censorship classification. And you get a poster. You get a choice of that for that. And Umbrella is really good at finding earlier works by people whose careers have hit in recent years. So having House of the Devil, because Ty West was so incredibly well regarded with the Pearl trilogy, is a nice haul, and it's good that we're getting a release here in Australia. A lot of these things, like House of the Devil, often get a release in the US, but they're very hard to get here in Australia. And having a quality release with so much value added is a good thing for Australian film fans. So that's the second one we've got. What will I play with next? We'll do this. Spanish time travel movie. You've seen it probably, but this is the first time it's been released on Blu-ray in Australia in a quality release. Time Crimes. If you've seen it, you know it. Set on a large estate in rural Spain with time travel in a very odd way. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything about the movie. I like that. There's the front of the guy's head. There's the back of his head. And again, you've got that kind of shininess about it. The future is never the same twice is the tagline we have on the back. And that's true. And that's true. These are special features. I'll freeze frame on them and tell you what they are. Audio commentary with the director Nacho Villalondo. Interview with director Nacho Villalondo. Alternative chronological cut. Because there is time looping in this, so they've got an alternative cut with the chronology done linearly, which will be a head trip to watch. The Making of Time Crimes documentary, cast and crew interviews, makeup featurette, 7:35 de la Mañana, a short film by Nacho Villalondo, Time Crimes internet game documentary, and a trailer. So you've got a fair bit there. Inside the box, we have more art cards. This is the collector's edition, by the way. There is a standard edition available on the Umbrella website. There's the protagonist. There's a mysterious guy with the messed up face and the bandages. I'm not even going to try to explain that one. There's the protagonist at an earlier stage. There's the scientist again. There's the scientist explaining time loops. There's the protagonist again. And there's the protagonist again. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about the plot of this movie because to do that is to deconstruct it and mess it up. So I'm not doing it. Another booklet, great. Inside we have Time Is Not On My Side, The Consequences of the Linear in Time Crimes by Sheila Rowan Legg. So we've got one essay there. We also have another essay, Time Crimes as Meta Cinema by Miguel Sebastian Martin. So we've got two essays. Time is Relative, the most convoluted cinematic time-traveling conundrums by David Michael Brown. And artwork for Time Crimes. So a lot in there. And the slipcover's pretty damn good too. I like this. There's one side of it, and on the back it says, bad things happen all the time. And anybody who's doom scrolled knows that. And so we've got alternative artwork, which I like. There's that. And this one too is Region B only. Though I have heard that Umbrella don't region lock their releases, but I can't confirm that personally. You will have to caveat emptor on that. Inside we've got the flip cover to get rid of the censorship thing and the disc itself with that groovy artwork on it. And we have reversible poster. And get that one, which I kind of like the way that one's done on that side. I like this movie. I liked it because it does a lot on a limited budget with a limited location and tells its story beautifully. It's crazily well written. And of course, any movie that has people moving backwards and forwards in time, you need to get that script exactly on point. Otherwise, it's not going to sell to an audience. This one does. But there's more. I've got two more things. This one, I'm not going to read out all the extras because there's about 1 million of them. But you're going to want this. If you ever prowled a video store in the 80s and 90s, you've seen a lot of these movies in your video store. And you've probably watched some of them. It is the Full Moon Fright box. with Charles Band movies from Full Moon Entertainment. There's the back of the box. There's the side of the box. And inside, we've got some real bangers, starring one of my favourite 1980s actors, Tim Thomerson. Nothing in the box. And the slipcovers on these are chef's kiss. Now, should I do the art cards? I'll do the art cards and the booklet first, because there's a chunky lot of art cards in here. And I love a chunky lot of art cards. And I know I've had at least one of these movies on VHS before I got rid of all my VHS tapes when I started diving into DVDs around the turn of the century. These are stand-up posters. These are not art cards. Look at the back of it. It's got a thing to allow you to stand it up. And this one's got demonic toys. So they're not quite posters. They're more like freestanding little posters, I suppose. Nice innovation, Umbrella. Good, well done. And then, of course, we have the wonderful, redoubtable Tim Thomerson in Doll Man. One of the great Tim Thomerson movies apart from Trances and Zone Troopers and all the other ones. Again, it's got that thing on the back to allow you to stand it up. Demonic Toys 2, not Electric Boogaloo, with the thing. And Doll Man versus Demonic Toys. Gotta love that. Umbrella is thinking outside of the box by putting things into the box that surprised me. Next up, we've got a booklet, Tales from the Video Zone, which is such a 1980s title. On the back, it's got the Full Moon logo. There's a bit of a cartoon there on the first page. Inside, we have Before the Full Moon, Empire International Pictures by John Harrison. Hi, John. Saw John on Saturday when I went to see Possession at the Astor. He knows his stuff. It's even got references to Ghoulies. I've got Ghoulies here on Blu-ray somewhere. Tim Thomerson, From Future Cop to Doll Man by John Harrison. So there's actually an essay on the wonderful Tim Thomerson. So thanks for that, John. We're definitely lined up on that. Another brick in the wall. Vivid, vibrant character names in the movies of Albert Pune. Doesn't say who that's by, which is a bit of a shame. There it is. What else have we got? She's Not Playing, an appreciation of Demonic Toys star Tracy Scoggins. There's a bit of male gazy pictures of Tracy Scoggins there before she was on Babylon 5. Getting Physical, a brief look at the celebrity workout tape. Tracy Scoggins did a celebrity workout tape of 5. So did Estelle Getty, Laura Gemser, Angela Lansbury, Janet Jones, who else have we got here? And something called a Robosize. So you can dive into that 1980s-ness. And there's a whole bunch of this kind of thing with bits and pieces about Doll Man and other movies. And the comic books, the Trances comic books, which I'm going to have to try to find. Trances, The Adventures of Jack Death. And another essay by John Harrison, Keep Out of the Reach of Adults, Killer Toys in Horror Cinema. Did well with this one, John. He mentions Dead of Night, so thumbs up there. And lastly, we've got He's with the Band, the early B-movie career of genre giant David S. Goyer. So you're getting a ton of stuff in this. That's before we even get to the movies. I'm beginning to love this box set, to be honest. It's definitely in my sweet spot. Slipcovers, like I said, are fantastic. There's the one for Doll Man. Check that out. Think that's good. Flying saucer and dialogue in the back. Inside, it's got that logo, it's got that tagline for Doll Man. 13 inches with an attitude. Then we've got the more normal art there for Doll Man. This is Region B, this box set as well. But again, it may be region unlocked, I just don't know. There's your back. Inside we have, and I'm going to have to slip this out, alternative cover like that. And the disc itself. Give me a moment to put all this back together. It's going to be a toss-up what I watch on the weekend, whether I dive into the Ozploitation Rarities Volume 2 or into this box set, because I could go either way on that. And we also get posters for the Ozploitation stuff, which has been put into the wrong slipcase, obviously, because I've got the posters here for these movies. So what Umbrella's accidentally done is put the posters into the wrong ones. So there's Dollman versus Demonic Toys poster. There's your Dollman poster. If I had room on the wall, that would go on my wall. Love Tim Thomason's work. Demonic Toys poster. And Demonic Toys too. So, yep, I've got all of the posters, but they were put into the wrong boxes. It happens. It doesn't affect quality at all. I don't mind. So we've got that Dollman, love it. Demonic Toys too. I'm going to do these out of order because this is the order they're in. Like I said, great graphic design. There's your other one. Inside the box, Demonic Toys 2. And on the back, inside you've got the alternative cover like the one on Dollman and the disc itself. Then we've got Demonic Toys. And the back. Fantastic design. Love it. There we go. So you can like bask in 1980s nostalgia with this stuff. And again, you've got the flipped artwork in case you want it that way. And lastly, in this box set, Dollman versus Demonic Toys. Great artwork. And inside, you've got that. And you've got that. And you've got that. Hi, this is Editing Me here, and I lost the footage for the start of my review of Les Yeux Sans Visage, Eyes Without a Face. And it just did face tracking on me, so if I go like this and like that, it will follow me. But fantastic box set of the movie. Now I'm going to go through the special features and I'm going to talk about the movie, but just give me a few moments on that. And I'll get rid of the face tracking so that it doesn't mess us around. And hopefully that's done it. Yep. So here are the special features, and I will read them off to you after I've freeze framed that. So what we've got is audio commentary with writer and actor Graham Duff. Eyes Without a Face, a video essay by Lindsay Hallam. Blood of the Beast, 1949 documentary by Georges Franju. I've got to warn you on that one. That is very gory. It's a documentary about a slaughterhouse in Paris. And there is the ending of animals, including a large draft horse, which gets its throat slit. So you might not want to look at that one if you are of a tender disposition. I've seen it. I think it's a great documentary. And it somehow makes it look beautiful, because that was Franju's gift, making the ugly look beautiful. There is Les Fleurs Maldives de Georges Franju, a 2009 overview of Franju's career by Pierre-Henri Gilbert. And for her eyes only, an interview with actress Edith Scobb, who plays Christiane. Monsieur and Madame Curie, a short film by Georges Franju, and a trailer. So there's a lot there. And it's a great box set. On the back, we have an abstract picture of Christiane as well. Inside, we have art cards, which is always nice. There's Edith Scobb as Christiane. Christiane watching her father and his assistant, played by Alida Valli. Alida Valli and Edith Scobb. Pierre Brasseur playing Professor Genessier, who's one of the most hateful villains and one of the most hated villains in horror movie history. Professor Genessier about to operate on a young woman. There's Christiane with her porcelain mask. There's the iconic image of the movie. And there's Alida Valli and Edith Scobb again. Now, if you don't know what the movie's about, I'll give you just a little bit of a brief thing on it. It's about a young woman called Christiane who's been in a car accident. Her father, who's a well-known plastic surgeon, has developed a technique for facial transplants, and he's gone mad. He keeps transplanting faces onto the disfigured face of his daughter, and it works for a while, but then these cells reject the new face, and we start getting necrosis and all sorts of things like that. So Genessier and his assistant, played by Alida Valli, are constantly luring young women into his lab He kills them and transplants their face onto his daughter. And Christiane can't handle this eventually, and it all comes to a head. It's a beautiful movie as much as it's an ugly movie, and there are some very confronting scenes of the surgery going on in this film, which are done incredibly well. They're not for the squeamish, because it is ultimately body horror, even though it is an incredibly beautiful film. I recommend it highly if you're into horror and if you're into classic horror as well. But it ain't going to be for everybody. There's the booklet, and my footage takes up from when I show you the booklet. There's your booklet. Inside, we have essays. Eyes Without a Face Meets the Critics by Stephen Strower. There's that one. And it was a very controversial film at the time because it is quite graphic, particularly for the particular era. And there are production images there. The Law of the Father and the Death of the Daughter. Eyes Without a Face, Georges Franju's dark fairy tale fantastique by Nadine Whitney. Hi Nadine, if you see this. And I've read Nadine's essay, and it is extremely good. Blood of the Beast by Jack Sargent, an essay about Franju's work. And there are alternative posters, a lot of them. So you get that. And then we get to the actual movie itself. There is the slipcover, and there is Dr. Genesier chloroforming a young woman. Inside, you've got the same artwork as on one of the other things there. And of course, this being 4K, it's not region locked. There's your back cover. Inside, we get the 4K and the Blu-ray. And best of all, we get a poster. Double-sided, of course. Both sides have the correct title on them. This is a great box set. It's just magnificent. I don't know if there's ever been as complete an edition of Eyes Without a Face as this one. But it's such an important and such an influential film that I'm really glad it's got a 4K release, and I was lucky enough for Umbrella to send it to me. Really, this one, in some form or other, should be in your collection if you can possibly manage it. It's a truly groundbreaking film, and it takes a visionary like Georges Franju, who made other movies as well. There's a movie he made called Judex, which is a little bit like a Fantomas equivalent, anarchic hero. Beautifully shot film. I like that one as well, but Eyes Without a Face is the best of his work. And really, if you've got the money, you can scrape it together. If you scrape the money together, Eyes Without a Face is just a fantastic release. I'm incredibly lucky to have it, and it's a movie that I will always be a passionate evangelist for. So all of these movies, so November, and of course, this is the one that was delayed. There were some production issues, and Eyes Without a Face got delayed, which is why I've only received the November releases in December, because when you're reviewing, they give you the job lot, they give them to you in one box. And so I received them all in December. But it's a great Christmas present. And I mean, you go from this, one of the classic, most beautiful horror movies ever made, to the groovy grunginess of Charles Band's Full Moon Pictures. You get Ozploitation Rarities, a really fine Spanish science fiction movie, and one of Ty West's early works. It's a great month, and all this stuff I don't know about the collector's editions, but I definitely know the standard editions of these single movies. I'll link to the Umbrella website in the video description. So that's what I got for you this time around. This box, this month of releases, is just so me that I'm delighted by them. And I'm not faking it. I'm not blowing smoke because they gave me the review copies. I'm genuinely, passionately enthused by these movies. And I think that while they do hark back to VHS era and video shop era, the fact that they've been updated into the modern era and they're going to be as crisp as they will ever look on physical media delights me no end. So that's what I got for you this time around. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know which of these movies you'd like to see and which of these movies you've seen and you've loved. You can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by becoming a patron at patreon.com/terrytalksmovies. Got a lot of things coming up. I've got my 24-hour movie marathon, half of which I've already filmed, and a whole bunch of stuff, including a little Christmas bonus for the channel, which I will release on Christmas Eve here in Australia. Haven't recorded it yet, but I know what it's going to be. So until all of that stuff happens, watch some good movies. Don't watch any bad movies this time around. It's the end of year. It's the holiday season. Indulge yourself. And I'll catch you later.